Good morning. It's August the 15th, 2012, mid-August in Kingston, Ontario, and wanted to do a mid-August update. Things are growing really well. Had a really hot June, July, very dry though. Beginning of August was very dry and hot, and now it's cooled a little bit. It's still nice though. Temperatures are in the 70s and low 80s, and opposed to the high 80s and low 90s as it was about a month ago or more. So just going around to show how things are doing. This is the palm that kind of started everything in 2008. So this is my Washingtonia, now in a pot. It's had a couple of different locations. Just find that it doesn't do that well in the ground because of our lower GDD here. It just, when I wrap it with Christmas lights, I think the roots get damaged and it just doesn't put out a lot of growth. So I kind of gave up on it, put it in a pot, and it's put out 4 fronds, going to be 5, almost 6 before the year's out. Plus we've had a hot summer, so that's helped quite a bit. Here's the hydrangeas and rhododendron and tree form. Pansies still flowering. They've flowered since April for me. Actually March I got them in. Hydrangeas did not flower much this year, and I think that's kind of the trend around here a lot. They flowered well last year, but not well this year. Didn't even get a flower off this one or some of my other ones. I found this canna lily down the street, kind of in a pile of sand and dirt. I don't know if somebody just tossed it in there. I wonder if it was tossed in last year with a bunch of compost. I'd be surprised if it did. We did have a 6B winter, but I wonder if it survived there, if someone just tossed it there this year. Anyways, I pulled it out and salvaged it. Have a look around here. Things, like I said, things have grown really well this summer. It's been so warm, and we came off a very mild zone 6B winter, which has helped things. Here was my largest trachea, now been taken over by my middle trachea. I think this one's starting to become established. It was a field-grown palm. Last year it only put out 3 fronds. This year it's put out 5 and working on its 6th. The difference is though, the petioles are really short on it. They're not like coming up very high. So I don't know if that's just because the roots are still establishing. It is in full sun, but I still don't think that's the issue because the other ones are in full sun too and they don't have the same issue. But I'm gonna give it another good year in this spot and see if it'll take off. It looked a lot better before when I first planted it, but they typically do when you get them field grown. And then this is my other trachea, which was bought as a 15-gallon, which now is getting close to 4 feet of trunk, 3.5 to 4, and the fronds are now well over my head. They're at about 7 feet, this one right here. So really taking off, really excited about this palm. I think it's going to be massive in, say, 3 years from now. I bet you the fronds will touch near the top of the railing, which should be interesting to protect. Sable minor put out a couple nice leaves, and the crepe myrtles are doing well in the back. This one was protected with heat inside the enclosure, while this crepe myrtle was not, just had a rose cone on it, and now it's about 4 feet. Last year it was up to the top of my deck. This year it's smaller. No flowers yet. Last year it flowered for me around this time. The year before that it flowered around the 18th of August, so we'll see what happens with it. And this is my trachea I bought this year, which is slow to start, but they typically are. In a couple of years it'll hopefully be this size. And in my needle palm, which has put out a couple really nice looking leaves and it's given it some nice shape. It's on its 3rd right now, so it's done well with the heat, and very little protection over the wintertime. Garbage can with 25 mini lights. Here's the Virginianas, which flowered nicely for me at the end of May, beginning of June, and see how long they hold their leaves this year. Last year was till January, so maybe it'll hold some more throughout the winter, depending on how our winter goes. And here's the other one right here, doing very well. Back here things are also doing well. Things are growing great. Rhododendrons look very healthy this year. Yucca, some red bananas, which I've had some luck with bananas and bad luck with others. The red bananas have done really well. This one's about 5 feet tall. Here's a Trachycarpus fortunae from Salt Spring Island that's been overwintered with no heat. Just a rose cone and leaves. It's doing pretty well in this spot. Leatherleaf Mahonia, doing well after it got eaten by a rabbit. I didn't have to worry about cold this winter. I had to worry about animals. I had rabbits eating everything that they could. So the only thing I lost was one Acuba. I had another Acuba there. I lost that one. This one survived. I don't do well with Acubas either for some reason. This year I'm not doing anything to it. I'm not putting a rose cone over it. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to wilt proof it and leave it there. And Rhododendrons doing well there. No flowers on this hydrangea. Didn't lose much this winter. I lost a little Yucca, variegated Yucca there. I lost a Buford holly in the back, which was eaten by a rabbit. And then that one Acuba. And a Rostrata up by my cactus. Again, I don't do well with Rostratas or other Yuccas like the one I had over there. Yucca, can't remember what it was called. There's some Euphorbia. Fig tree with no figs. Just it was a tiny one when I planted it. Bananas. This one was from a plant from last year, which again this year I lost the main stalk. I don't know what from, and this has come back from its other shoots. There's the bamboo has gone insane this year. It's running all over the garden. I actually found a piece of bamboo. I'm gonna have to cut it back, coming up over here in my path. So I mean, originally it was planted over here, and who knows where they're running to. Next year should be interesting. There's another Musha Baju. Yeah, and lost the stalk on this one, and then this is the second cane to come up. Some more bamboo. This is the Moonglow Magnolia. It's putting out some good growth this year. And Yucca, Adam's Needle. Small leaf rhododendrons. Big leaf rhododendron, which is covered with some annuals. Viburnum Davidii, doing well as it always does for me here. Big leaf magnolia, macrophilia, or ashii, I can't remember. Anyways, it's almost tripled in size. I've fertilized it quite a bit, and this, if it keeps doing it at this rate, it's going to be massive back here. It's going to look pretty cool. Really like this plant. And the leaves, last year they held until about mid-November, so it's kind of nice that it holds its leaves a little longer than the rest of the deciduous plants, trees around here. More rhododendrons. Here's a Mahonia, Oregon grape holly. Here's some japonica, and here's an American holly tree, which has done really well. It's doubled in size. It's about probably about 3.5 feet, and it's flushed out 3 times this year. So doing really well there. Magnolia Bracken's Brown Beauty also has done really well this year. Put out lots of great growth. It'll get no protection this winter. Here's a noose, little area I've put back here. I've covered it with burning bush, and I did this a couple years ago, but I put ivy, English ivy back here. Now I've done it again in hopes that it'll climb the wall, but I put better earth, and last time I did it I just dug little holes and planted the ivy in, and it kind of dried up. Some bananas back here, red bananas. This is where I decided to put the D.D. Blanchard back here. See how it does. This is the one I had a couple of years ago in the front yard. They got knocked back by the severe winter we had, and it's come back pretty nicely. Had it in a pot most of the past year and a half, and hoping now it'll do okay back here. What else do I have back here? Some Japanese Spurge, I believe it's called. It's a nice ground cover. Hopefully it'll cover up back here. And more burning bush. Had another big problem with voles this summer. I had about 15, I figure, voles in the yard that were eating the roots of the plants probably, and we're also leaving tracks over the yard. So I've actually gotten rid of the problem. I set traps, and I caught about 10, and I've seen about 1 since then. So got rid of that problem. Here's my Edith Bogue Magnolia, which I've had for since 2010, and it's been through a couple of winters with me. It's now back to the original size that I bought it 2 winters ago. It got knocked back pretty good, almost to the ground, and now it's come back, and it's actually still leafing out. Didn't flower this year. All my other magnolias did. This one didn't, probably because it's smaller, but it's doing really well. Seems to like the spot okay. Japanese umbrella pine did a nice flush this year. It seems to like that spot too. So we'll go around and have a look at the front yard. Alright, so here's my Edith Bogue Magnolia. Flowered 6 times, I think, and put out some nice new leaves. It's getting to be a good size there. Probably too big for this spot, but I like it there. Here's my other Trachycarpus. Done really well here. Gets a lot of shade, but seems to like the spot. Put out lots of new growth. Teddy bear, rhododendron. And then this was the area that I expanded this year. Magnolia Virginiana, which is weird. Have a look at this. It's flowering. Don't really get that. It's got another bud right here. So it flowered back in when I bought it in April, and now it's flowering again. Here's some ice grass, I believe it's called. Supposedly semi-evergreen. Had really good luck with this Bajou. It's got a 5-foot cane on it. Lots of new leaves, and done well with the red bananas here. Some new rhododendrons there. Rhododendrons I've had since 2008. And euonymus tree. That's about it.